Hello, I'm here, chilling. Found a stick, and I thought I'd make a little rod out of it. Ooh, got something in my eye. Hold on. And thought I'd just ramble. I try not to ramble, actually. I do tend to, though. That's why I don't think anyone's gonna watch these, because, like, even if people do start watching them, I kind of ramble and talk in circles a lot. But you know, it all has a purpose, it all has a point. I've been thinking a lot about how intelligence, like, you know, how I've been saying, you know, we are carriers of intelligence. We aren't necessarily intelligence itself. So I'm wondering, like, you know, what else could be carriers of intelligence? I've already said the universe is one of them. But you know, like, what if we are carriers of information? What if we are part of that intelligence? I guess this is going back to, like, what I said about we might be part of this creature's thinking, you know, and by creature I mean this cosmic entity, intelligence. I don't know if that's true. I mean, it would have to necessarily be true. Well, no, it wouldn't. It could be true that we are unknowingly part of this entity's, like, thought. I don't know if that's true. I think that, I don't know. I think that we could be, but it's not. I keep saying, like, all of this is conjecture. That's because it's like it is. That's why I'm posting it on YouTube rather than, like, a scientific paper. But it is interesting, and it is scientifically informed. It is conjecture, but I'm not guessing. I guess I am guessing, but, like, it's educated guessing, which is a lot of what we do in physics. It's just educated guessing, and then we use math to explain that guessing or to flesh that guess out, and then we check our answers by looking at the world, seeing if what our models do is accurate, or accurate. And so, yeah, it's just interesting, man. I keep saying I'm a writer. In the show that I'm writing, it's called Neon Legacy Underdogs. You can look up we have a YouTube channel. I guess I'll link it. It's Daiga Productions if you want to check it out. We've started doing some like, what's it called? We call them speed chats, but they're basically just talking about the two of the characters so far. Yeah, neither one are the main characters, interestingly enough, but anyways, in the show that I'm writing, it's like a fantasy show mixed with sci-fi. It's interesting. I say that a lot. But in the show, I based an entity in there off of these ideas I have about real life. I call it the cosmic elemental, because in my show, which is fantasy, not based in real life, let me be clear. So everything I'm about to say is in this fictional show. I know I talk about, like, what I actually believe is true in the real universe. This is not that. Anyways, so this show has the cosmic elemental. It is an entity. I might refer to it as he. That's just because it doesn't have, like, a gender. It's just for ease of talking. I might refer to it as a he, just because in my head it is a he, but that's also because I'm a he, and in my head if anything doesn't really, well, that's not always true. A lot of times, I was about to say, in my head, if something doesn't have a gender, I kind of automatically assign it to be a he, but I don't think that's always true. It just, I don't know why he's a he in my head. I don't think there's much. Please don't psychoanalyze me on that. Anyways, so yeah, it's it's this entity that is the universe. So in my show, these elementals are just like creations of the universe. Like they just come to be. It is like uh, spontaneous intelligence, though. In my show, it's like you have the like light elemental, you have the dark elemental, and then like the differences between the show and the real life is that I don't think it, like I make a lot of assumptions about the assumption spontaneous assumptions the spontaneous intelligence. I make a lot of assumptions. I don't know why I feel this need to like compare the two, but it's interesting, I suppose. So I will continue until I don't care to. Um, yeah. So the the in the show, the cosmic elemental, all so there's a bunch of elementals in the show. So each elemental is broken up into its three components, and this is actually a little bit inspired by Christianity. Interestingly enough, well, no, I came up with this and then I realized Christianity, it's the Trinity, Holy Trinity, basically the mind, the body, and like for me in the show, it's like the mind, the body, and the power. So like, and that's kind of based off of this idea I have that the body is a carrier of information, and then in the show it does. So in the show, it's I say that mind and body and power are all separate things, and then at the very end, it's like you find out that it's not all separate; it's all one thing. And so, like, the main character goes full. This is spoilers for the show, by the way. Sorry, but in this I'm sorry that I'm spoiling a show that I know you've never heard of nor have seen. uh, Anyway, so the main character goes like full Edward Elric from Brotherhood style, and like he unlocks a new stage of like ability, but then he can't use his ability after anymore. But it's okay because it's the conclusion of the series, so it makes sense. Um, yeah, and he it's like he comes to his whole thing is like he has an awareness of energy. He can sense energy. That's like his thing. And so when he does gain the ability to like you manipulate energy, because that is what happens in this show. Like, I should mention that's his ability, which it is a major spoiler. So I'm sorry if you are interested in that in my show later on, but it's yeah, it's a spoiler, but whatever. He unlocks his powers towards the end of the show, and it's important that he doesn't unlock them before, because the whole deal with him is that he is like the show is basically supposed to be talking about what we can do as powerless individuals in a seemingly superpowered world, and it's I think a concept we can all relate to because you have big old companies like Amazon, Google, Disney, and then the government, and like you know it all so often seems oh dear, I think my dogs are about to get in trouble. Hey, I don't want to get up. um no, but it's a feeling I think we can all relate to. um, Feeling like you can't do anything, in like powerless. Just like, what can we do? We are so small. And I think I can say whatever I want right now, because and it won't matter, both because probably no one's listening, but mainly B, even if you are, like, it's not gonna really sink in, because no one's gonna change your life through YouTube. I don't know, like, like I realize that I can have as much knowledge and slash or wisdom as I want, but it's a different story to try and use that to help other people. You have to know how to help other people. You can't just be better. Come, door. I think we're gonna move inside. Come on, let's go. Yeah, one of them is overly excited. And the other, sorry, a knife sucked. Wouldn't, like, fold in. Okay, let's move inside. Oh, crap, hold on, wait. Good boys. Yeah. Like I said, I'm trying to do some good work in training them. I mean, one of the things that I'm really proud of is with Jack. I taught him that, because like I said, he has really bad separation anxiety, high Thor. And, yeah, he has really bad separation anxiety, so one of the things that I started doing with him, I'm kind of impressed with myself that I figured this out on my own. Like, I didn't learn this. I just figured it out. One of the reasons that he, I'm stuttering a lot. I applied my knowledge of trauma that I learned from, going through trauma myself. I applied that to my dogs, and I realized that worked. I was able to understand a lot of the things that they were doing through the lens of treating them like humans, but like kind of really dumb humans. And I realized that that's what we gotta treat. Oh, hey, don't knock off my jacket, Bob. Please. Come here. Look at this. Look at this dog. Look at him. This is Thor. Also, sorry if my hands are shaky. I just had some caffeine. This is Jack. He's the anxious pup. This one is not anxious, but he gets aggressive. He was a street dog. Hi. Thor. Hi. Oh, here comes Jack. Hi. One thing that Jack does, and I'm really, I really don't like that he does, and I'm not really sure how to, fix it, is he takes out his frustration and anxiety on Thor. Thor's never, Thor's never, gotten seriously hurt, just, he does it, I think, out of fear and anxiety. Not fear, but, anxiety. It's like an impulse, and I get that. I do that sometimes, and I'm not proud of it. I think a lot of people do. But, and it's for us, humans, it's we know better. But for dogs, it's they don't know better. They don't know, because, this goes back to what I said. It's no one asks to be put on this earth. And when you really think about it, I think a lot about, I think Jordan Peterson, which I know he's very politicized. I'm not gonna get into that, but does say, he has said one thing that I really like, or that I really think is rings true. I think it was Jordan Peterson. It might have been, I don't remember, but he basically was like, it's a miracle that human society functions as well as it does, and it's true, because we are not very okay. One of the reasons that I don't think we're designed is because if we are designed, we're designed really poorly. Because, like I said in one of the earlier rants, like, we have emotions because we need to get our bodies to do things. If we could just be perfect like machines, we wouldn't need emotions, because we would just know what to do. Like, we and our bodies wouldn't need that motivation in order to do it. So, like, we are very imperfect creatures, and it's very important to understand that, because when we understand that it's not our faults, we understand that everyone has something that they every it's an intrinsic human experience. It is intrinsically a human experience to have to deal with your biology, to have to come to understand it, to learn about it. And even when I don't think that just, you know, like, I think you can grow up, mature physically, and still never make that journey. And I think that's what's happening right now. Um, I think a lot of people have not, a lot of people think there's one way of doing things, when in reality, there's not one way of doing things. There's an infinite possibilities of things that can happen. I actually, that's a mathematically, that is true. And I think that it applies, like I said, just because something is not, you know, directly related to something else, because of the cyclical nature of the universe, we can at least let that intuition guide us and at least see if it works. I'm not saying it'll always work, but we should not be averse to letting it guide us, because let's face it, anyone with a brain can tell you that, like, at the very least, we as humans are seeing patterns, and seeing patterns in the universe, and specifically, this pattern is waves, cycles. Um, and that is, as far as we know, intrinsic to the universe. So if it's intrinsic, why can't we see it on both the micro and the macro scale? And I actually think that it's more than just, like, a concept that can be applied. I think cycles are present in every single aspect that you can conceive. There is not a single concept, I think, that cannot be explained through cycles. And the reason I justify this is because of I'm the discover like, okay, you can model a unit step function with cycles, with waves. It's a Fourier transform, and it works. And as far as I know, you can get it I don't know if you can get it mathematically perfectly modeled. That might not be possible. I don't know, though. I don't think it's possible, but again, I don't know. Maybe with infinite precision, maybe you could. I'm a physics, not dropout, but I haven't even had my physics degree yet. And also I'm bad at math, but I'm really good at physics. Um, yeah, and by bad at math, I mean I make a lot of stupid mistakes, but I have a good intuition. That's why I talk about, like, the importance of using of using your intuition, is because I am in the position where I have to, and I think a lot of us do, and I think what's holding a lot of us back is, trauma, and I say trauma, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I was abducted when I was a kid. No, it can be living in a world that doesn't understand you. That is inherently traumatic. And I say this like, I say this as both someone that has survived things that have happened to me, and also as someone that does not adopt the victim mindset. So I understand both worlds, and I understand the desire to not be a victim. But the truth is, I feel like we're all victims of something. Even if you're not a victim of anything, you become a victim of nothing. And that has ramifications in your life. That does change the way you perceive people. And so when we look at it through that view, we realize that there is no normal. There was only different. And that doesn't mean that everyone's the same. There's that line from The Incredibles, like, if everyone's, what is it? If everyone is super, then no one is. I disagree with that. If everyone is super, then everyone is super. That's it. That's the end of that. Like, it's inherently a logical leap to say that no one is, because what we're saying is that, okay, in my opinion, what he's saying there is, if everyone is super, then everyone will start, like, if everyone is super, then the problems that are facing today's society are gonna be the same problems that would face a super society. And I guess that's not what he's saying or what he means, but I think that is like the greater like consequences of what he's saying. I'm not explaining. I have this problem. My brain works in such a weird way that when I explain something out loud, it just sounds really weird and stupid. But it makes sense to me. Uh, but like basically saying that, like, if everyone's special, then no one's special, and there's no reason to treat people like they're special, because everyone is special. Then that treatment of being special means that no one becomes special. So it's like an inherent paradox. But that's wrong, because if you treat people as if they're special, guess what? They're gonna live up to that, and they will become special. And that's not always true, but that is a part of human psychology that isn't talked about. If people are treated as leaders, they're more likely to become leaders. And maybe we don't want all leaders. And maybe we want, some people to be leaders, some people not to be. That's part of treating everyone as if they're special, because everyone has a place in this world. Everyone. Not a single person does not belong in this world, because no, this world wasn't made for anyone. We're just here. And like, so saying that, like, saying that someone doesn't have a place, or like, you know I disagree very much so with this idea that you have to make your kids into, like, you have to prepare your kids for the world. I mean, whoa, hold on, whoa. I said that. That's not what I meant. Of course, I don't disagree with that. Whoa. I'm just saying I disagree with, like, saying this is a mindset that, like, the world won't change and it'll never change. So we have to buy into that. You don't have to buy into that. You just have to know what you're not buying into, and you have to know what the ramifications are for that. If you know that, and if you can still play the game, when you need to, because unfortunately we are not. I love to sit here and say I don't play the game. I never play the game, but of course we all have to. Sometimes we do, because that's the world we live in. I hate that we do, but we do, and that's okay to just be like that. But it's also okay to, like, I'll have this mindset of I'm only gonna play the game when I need to. That's how I view it. I don't, I and by the game I mean, like, in my opinion. Okay, this is probably a more fringe thing of mine. Um, it's born out of, I guess, trauma on my end, but, like, I don't believe in appearances. I think that oftentimes people use appearances to, like, drag, like, I I grew up. I guess I'll just spill the beans. I grew up very overweight, and so automatically, also I grew up overweight in a small town in Texas, so I grew up with a lot of people that were, I don't know if this is rings true for a lot of small towns in Texas, but like all of my peers were super fit, white, and like very good looking. To be fair, I was much whiter. Uh, like physically, I looked a lot whiter. I think as I've grown up, a lot more of my Middle Eastern blood has come out. And actually, I actually think there could be a like evolutionary reason for that because I mean, I think this is true of zebras, um, because zebras like if a male. Oh no, this can't be true of Oh, I don't know actually. If a mom zebra has a kid with her, and then the dad, like I don't remember if it's just any male. I don't remember exactly what it is, but basically the dad will like straight up kill that baby if it's not his. Like he will straight up kill it. And so I've heard that like when you maybe I'm getting a lot of things confused. It's either with chimps or with zebras. I can't remember. But basically, it's believed, and I got this from Casual Geographic on YouTube. Um, it's believed, I think that uh, you exhibit traits from your mom earlier in life because that makes you less likely to be a victim of biological hate crime. um, and so then later in life you express. I think what it is later in life those dad genes are allowed to be expressed. Maybe I don't know. I'm so Adam. I'm just a dude talking. I am just like, yeah. I'm well aware of how overreaching I am, but it's okay. I don't care. Dude. I just want to sit here and play bass. Oh, I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna drink water. Drink water, folks. I need to shower. Been working. My dog is. As soon as I get. As soon as my hands are full, that's when my dogs demand attention. It's like they intentionally try to make my life more difficult. But I love you anyways. I love you, puppies. I love you. Hi, Jack. Hi, puppy. Hi. They really want to go back out. I don't really want to let them out, but I might because I also don't really feel like. I say I don't feel like dealing with them. I don't mean that in like a unloving way. He he licked me so nicely and so sweetly. I gave in. I'm giving in. I saw something on Reddit. I think my brother told me is like what is it? What is a big dog no-no that you do? And I think one of them was my dogs get treats for being goofy and looking cute. And I was like, yo, yeah. Hi, Bob. Hi. But I was actually thinking about that. Isn't that weird that we do that? Like, isn't it weird that we're taught not to give, your pets and I think even children like just love. I don't know. It's like a weird thing, when you see someone who's spoiled. Like I, it's so much more nuanced than that, I think, because it's like, well, you know, spoiled, because, when someone says, oh, I'm going to spoil my kids, that can mean, you know, doing nice things for them, doing things that they really like. And that's not wrong. That's good. And I think it's weird that we, like, I don't know, there's like, I feel like sometimes there's this idea that, we need to control, I don't know, like, we need to treat our kids differently than we treat people. And I think that's the wrong impulse to act on. I think it's there because we are wanting to protect our kids, but, like, and I think that this, I guess, in reference of my own life, I guess, we think, I mean, I don't have kids, but I am the kid in this, and I think sometimes we think that our kids are, I mean, obviously children need protecting, but, I think, what is it, Jesus, I don't know if Jesus said this, but it was in the Bible, um, that what is it, if you give a fish a man, if you give a fish a man, oh man, that's great. No, if you give a man a fish, he will eat for a day. But if you give a man, or if you teach a man to fish, he will eat for a lifetime. The best way to protect people is to teach them how to protect themselves. Because as much as you can be there for them, there will be a time where you won't be there for them. My dog is whining. The problem with this dog, and I think it's a learned behavior because Jack is a bully. Jack will, like, and this is what I was saying earlier, I don't like that Jack does this. Jack, like, I don't know what it is. I think he's afraid because he was passed around a lot from house to house. Alright, my dog is gonna whine at me until I go over there. So I guess no base. For now. But my Jack was passed around a lot from house to house, and I think, because when you have abandonment issues, look at him, look at his tail, he is so happy. Hi Jack, can you sit? Lay down, Jack, lay down, come on. Thor. Oh, look at this guy. Hi, dog. Jack, come here, Jack.